Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. This is part two of the Revelation videos. I didn't plan to make a part two, but I was thinking about the overlap theory and I was thinking about why it doesn't work and stuff. So I had to take a look at it for myself and I made a chart. And please excuse any noises you hear in the background. So I basically made this chart to compare because some people say like the first seal is the same as the first trumpet, which is the bowl of wrath, and they're explained further. Um, it doesn't jive with me, and I did look at the different things on each seal and each trumpet and each bowl to see if there were differences, and there are. Um, so the big thing for me is once we hit the second trumpet, so there's like a mountain that falls into the sea, and it says a third of the sea is turned to blood, and a third of the fish are killed, and a third of the ships are destroyed. And then if you look at the bowls of wrath, when the bowls are poured out, there's 100% of the sea is turned to blood, and there I drew like a fish dying. So to me, I mean, God is very specific, so I don't think that if he says it's 33%, 33.3%, and then it's 100%, I don't think he's like getting his numbers mixed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think John was getting his numbers mixed up. I think he meant what he said. So there's a difference between 1/3 of the sea turning to blood and 100% of the whole sea turning to blood. And then you go over to the third, number 3, the trumpet. There is like a star that falls from heaven. I think in the literal sense that could be a bomb dropping and then an explosion like a nuke. I do believe that will turn the waters bitter because that happened in Chernobyl and stuff. If you look in what happened in Europe and Japan, the waters, people tried to drink the water and it was like, I think brackish is the word. And you just can't drink water after there's a nuclear bomb that's gone off. Of course, there's other things that could have happened, but it does say there's a star that falls. A third of the water got bitter from the first time that happens. And then once you hit the bowls, it said all the drinkable water is turned to blood. I think that's a possibility that could be war right there. And if you look at the horse for that one, number 3 is the black horse. It's not the red horse of war. So to me, the red horse of war should be on number 3 if they're going to all go together, and they don't really. Again, it's 33.3% and then 100%. So those are two differences. We're moving into the number 4. Number 4 is the pale horse. 1/4 of mankind dies. A third of the sun is smitten. And if you know your Revelation, you know that the 6th seal, the sun is turned to darkness. But there's a difference between turning to darkness and smitten. So the word smitten, I mean, it has something to do with the power of the sun, because the power of the sun is going to be turned up, like it's like turning a knob up to full blast like sound. It's going to be very powerful and burning people. So on the 4th trumpet, third of the sun is smitten, and then on the bowl of wrath, it's the sun is burning people, so it's scorching people, and people are cursing God because of it. So my theory is that it's a third, and then it's 100% of the sun that's smitten on the bowl of wrath. Again, like I'm saying that these things are chronological. So first we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the seals, and then we move into the trumpets all the way to the end. So it's kind of building on itself. The sun gets dark, and then it starts malfunctioning. A third of it is malfunctioning, and then by the end, when we get close to the day of the Lord, 100% of the sun is like going crazy somehow and really, really hot. Or like the protection from the ozone layer is completely gone or something like that. Then we get to number 5. Number 5 is the martyrs on the seals, and then the smoke from the shaft. I drew a picture of a volcano because someone said recently on a forum that they believe that the shaft and the smoke could represent volcanoes. I thought that was very insightful and really makes sense. So in the physical, we might see the volcano, and these creatures. I also believe these creatures are totally physical. And then in the spiritual realm, we have demons coming from the abyss. And then later it says, on the fifth bowl of wrath, the beast's throne was poured into darkness. So I was thinking about volcanoes because of that lady that posted, or a guy, I'm not sure. But I was thinking maybe it was another third versus 100%. So a third of the volcanoes erupt by the time of the fifth trumpet. And then by the time we get to the bowls, could be 100% of volcanoes around the earth erupting. I mean, that would make sense because the sea has turned to blood by then. So if they're erupting underneath the sea and toxic and you can't drink the water, I mean, that makes sense. Actually, I don't know if that makes sense. I know that earth underneath the water is like constantly producing stuff, so I'm not sure about that one. Number 6. The seals. On number 6, the sun is turned to darkness, the moon is turned to blood. The moon is red, basically, and there's a great earthquake, and there are meteors. Now, if this was all going together, it would make more sense for the earthquake to be on number 7, because on the 7th trumpet there's an earthquake, and on the 7th bowl of wrath there's an earthquake. So that was a problem that I had. If these are all the same, then why is number 6 the earthquake and not number 7? There was an earthquake on number 7, but number 6 is described as a great earthquake. So if it's the day of the Lord, if number 7 seal is the day of the Lord, then it should be the great earthquake. The word great is used on the 6th seal. And I did look that up. So there are different earthquakes mentioned. I counted at least 4 different earthquakes if you follow what I'm saying, that it's chronological, so one event after another. It makes sense, speaking, that there would be like a second earthquake after a first one. I mean, that usually happens in real life anyway. They use the word great. John used the word great twice. So the word great is Greek 3173, and that is in Revelation 6:12 and in Revelation 16:18. So 2 of the earthquakes they don't say the word great, it just says there was an earthquake, and then 2 of them say the word great. So to me, that shows there's a difference in these earthquakes. Number 7. The seals in number 7. We have silence in heaven, and the fire, which could be hail and then another earthquake. And then we have Yeshua's kingdom announced. I described in my first video. I believe that is an announcement. It's not saying the kingdom is totally here. On the 7th bowl of wrath, we have Jesus standing on the Mount of Olives. That's supposed to be Jesus in my photo. It says, "Behold, I come as a thief." I was thinking about that verse today. I think it's because these bowls will be poured out quicker than people expect, perhaps. Or it could just simply refer to unbelievers because they don't understand and they'll be shocked when he comes. So he comes as a thief on that day for unbelievers. But for believers, he's not a thief because we expect him to come. So I think that verse is talking about unbelievers when it says he comes as a thief. Okay, and then the hailstones were described on the 7th seal, the 7th trumpet, and the bowls of wrath. However, one time he did say it was a great hailstorm that was on the 7th trumpet. So there could be a difference there in the power of those hailstorms. And if it's following like the third, the 33% up to 100%, could be like a 33% type of hailstorm, and then it comes up to a 100% hailstorm worldwide. I was thinking about that as I made my little chart. So that was interesting. Okay, well, this was just a quick overview. Again, I put the photos up, so if you want to like pause the video and check, and you can of course find charts online. My computer it was not doing very well at zooming in on the charts, so I couldn't get good photos. So I just made my own chart. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that forth, and I hope you enjoy that and have some food for thought. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is like a man in search of fine pearls, and when he found a single pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it.